The meeting has been called to order. The second item on our agenda is public comments on the posted agenda item. The first person to speak is Mr. Damon Barone. Item number 4, district priorities.
Greetings, Damon Barone, Alief ISD parent, taxpayer, and alumnus. Tonight, you all are given an update on district priorities for early childhood and post-secondary. It is evident that the last 10 years under the leadership of Coach H.D. Chambers and the board, you all have not been focused on these priorities. Coach Chambers openly stated that the district only makes changes when required to do so by TEA or the federal government. During the September 21st, 2021 school board meeting, I was taken aback by Coach Chambers tearing up as he spoke to the audience about his parents and the board passing tissue back and forth to one another. Now allow me to give the board some of the reasons why I cry as it relates to the district priorities. I cry because the board claims to be committed to the core beliefs and changed policy AE local in November of 2019. Although the policy was changed nearly 2 years later, the district's practices still remain the same. Alief Board President Annie Joseph Williams and Vice President Darlene Elizabeth Bro serve in leadership positions with the Texas Black Caucus of School Boards, and still African American male students are 3 to 4 academic years behind in their education here in Alief. To add insult to injury, the district's September 2019 equity audit states, when viewed as a proportion of the total student population, while comprised of only 29% of the student population, African-American students in Alief were subjected to nearly twice as many exclusionary disciplinary consequences than their counterparts. Each year, the district earmarks $250,000 in an annual budget to send our kids to the Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program. It was even stated that in this year's budget, you all used the same $250,000 based on last year's students. I suppose the district forgot that there was no students in JJEP last year because students were learning online most of the year. I cry because only 33% of all Alief students K through 12 can read on a third grade level. The board's goals for third graders to read on grade level for the next 5 years never reaches 50%. In fact, the only reason the board created these goals was because you all were forced to do so by TEA, as it was tied to funding by House Bill 3. I cry because 6 elementary schools are currently in improvement required status: Landis, Best, Sneed, Horn, Collins, and Cummings, and parents have no idea that this has been happening for several years straight and will cause each of these schools to be taken over by TEA. I cry because HR gives themselves so much credit for being the best workplace for 5 years in a row, yet in the TEA Equity Toolkit from 2017 to 2019, Executive Director of Human Resources Daryl Alexander states, Alief policies and procedures are implemented in a way that create a revolving door for teachers in high poverty, high minority, and lowest achieving schools. If new teachers and highly qualified teachers keep leaving, how does the district expect to increase the third grade reading scores? Coach Chambers stated during the September 9, 2019 board workshop that he has not been focused on early childhood education because he and his administrators have been focused on senior graduation rates. How can graduation rates in Alief be so high when third grade reading is so low? Let us not forget that jails and prisons are built based on third grade academic data, not 12th grade graduation rates. I cry because House Bill 3 was meant to give our Alief teachers raises. The bill explicitly states that full-time administrators were not to receive raises. However, with the approval of this board, Coach H.D. Chambers violated House Bill 3 and gave money meant for our teachers to administrators. I cry because Master Trustee Rick Marino sits in board meetings focusing on the residency of other trustees who he seems to have a personal issue with. However, during the August 24, 2021 board meeting Patron presentation, Trustee Moreno appeared to be giving the thumbs up sign to the pastor, announcing that he was running for the upcoming school board election, even though the pastor lists his church as his residence on his voter registration card when he actually lives in Katy and has a homestead exemption in Katy since 2013. I cry because Coach Chambers and his staff are more interested in telling our community about the bond election than keeping us informed about the status of our schools. We get 100 phone calls, emails, and text messages a day reminding us about the bond election, which will increase everyone's taxes while more than 85% of our students are on free and reduced lunch. It is for these reasons and many others that I have decided to run for the November 2nd, 2021 Alief ISD School Board election, position number 7. It is time for a new voice and a new direction for our district, especially on the school board. And I intend to be the voice for the students, by the parents of our community. New voice, new direction. Damon Barone, Alief ISD parent, taxpayer, and alumnus. Thank you.
The next person on the agenda to speak